What is up guys, Wraec is here with a new video, and today one hero really piqued my interest, and it's, well, probably the one you would least expect from the heroes you see right there. It is Reinier. Reinier really piqued my interest because of this exact fight you see in the background. Let me start it. The thing about Reinier in this particular fight was that he got a special trophy at the end. You know, the most accomplished hero at the end of the fight always gets displayed, and I saw this weird trophy, Hotshot Healer with Reinier in the background. I was like, I have never seen that before. Not with Reinier at least. I saw that with maybe Smokey, but not with Reinier. And I checked out the heal and it was quite insane. We'll see that in a second. And I figured, so why is it this insane on this fight, and can we do something with it? Can we maybe make Talene sustain herself through Reinier? There it is again, Hotshot Healer with Reinier there. A bit confusing. So let's check out these stats. We have some very nice damage by not by Smokey. Smokey actually didn't do too much here. By Odie and by Talene, and then we have those gigantic 45 billion heal by Reinier. Quadruple the heal of Smokey, who's basically known for his heal. We have this super massive stat. And then I took some time to actually look into why it is so insane on this fight. So let me show you the results and maybe what you can do with that. If we check out Reinier actually, and his abilities, the ability that grants this heal, is the one that lets you switch the position of your allies with the enemy. If you don't know how Reinier works, let me give you a very short summary. Basically, at the start of a fight, you can place Reinier next to an ally, and if this ally is in a symmetrical position with an enemy, they will switch positions at the start of the fight. And this is displayed by this little ring. This is the red ring under the enemy that will be switched over, and this is the ally with the purple ring that will be switched to the enemy's position in a situation such as this. The boss won't actually be switched over, but your ally will be switched to the boss, so sent to the boss's side. And this ability is usually only known for doing exactly that and activating his Mythic Plus. But here in this special situation we actually make use of the heal, and this is the second part of this ability. Whenever the enemy, referring to the enemy that gets teleported, that gets switched over, takes damage, the ally, which is the ally that we teleported over to the enemy, restores HP equal to 45% of the enemy's taken damage till the battle ends. And then there is a cap of total HP recovery amount. By this means is no more than 1000% plus 100% per one skill power in a consecutive 8 seconds. So within this time frame of 8 seconds you are capped by this. And usually with those caps the situation is, well, you hit them. They are meant to be hit, usually are limited by those caps. And in this situation I found out this is not the case at all, because if we look at the attack that my Reinier has, and we just for this moment don't take into consideration any further attack buffs that we have through, for example, faction buffs and everything else, we have an attack of 300 million. Meaning that with the 1000% cap that we have here is in fact 3 billion within a time frame of 8 seconds. So 3 billion we have here, but we can't forget at this point the 45%. So 45% of the enemy's damage taken is only converted into heal, meaning we have to deal way higher damage to actually reach this cap of 3 billion within 8 seconds. So the damage we would actually have to deal within 8 seconds is about 6.6 billion. And 6.6 billion within 8 seconds means over the whole 90 seconds of a fight, we would have to deal about 80 billion. If we look at Dream Realm right now, where we already were a second ago, and we check out the ranking. Ranking on my server 48 billion, and here we have 53 billion from Hearty, which is just still a fair bit away. 80 billion, it's not quite there. So we don't actually hit this cap. Even the strongest damage dealers in Dream Realm, the strongest players in Dream Realm don't hit this cap, and you can drive it even further up. We saw there was a way to actually enhance this cap through skill power. If we have 3 skill power charms like I currently have, the cap is actually at 1300%, and I actually made a small Excel sheet to calculate this. Then to reach the cap that we then have with the skill power, we would have to deal around 104 billion damage, meaning for Dream Realm at the current situation, the skill power we add to this is completely meaningless because we won't hit that heal anyway. Interesting, for Dream Realm, that's a different story, because in Dream Realm, as we just saw, we hit super high damage. That is 3,447 billion. Of course, that means we can cap out the heal on Reinier, meaning every single bit of skill power gives us actually higher heal. The question at this point remaining, do you actually need that? Do you actually need that super high heal? But this is the explanation actually for that heal, and this gives us some interesting perspective. We can definitely make use of this heal for Dream Realm, potentially replacing other healers. If we check this out, for example, we currently have King Croaker as a boss here, and one of the meta teams for King Croaker includes our Ludovic. I actually took Ludovic out of this team, just replaced him with Reinier, and I have to say this works pretty well. We still have some one-shots, but I already had a nice 44 billion fight, which was pretty good. We see the small health numbers popping up all of the time. Basically every time we get a damage tick with her, we'll also get some heal through Reinier. We won't get that super high heal here, of course, just for the reason that we don't even closely reach the cap. I mean, right now we have 3 skill power on this Reinier, meaning 104 billion would be required. Plus we have the formation buff for the faction buff on this team, which is quite massive given that we have a 4 hero faction buff. Yeah, and so we would need to deal quite a lot of damage, which we of course aren't able to in this situation. Not the optimal fight, but it will serve well for our sake. If we check it out, actually in this situation, Reinier does get out-healed by Smokey, but still, 15 billion is not bad. If you're now looking into some perspective on how to skill your Reinier, if you hit the cap, of course, the maximum amount of heal that you will achieve is done through skill power. They recommend this haste skill power charm, which is fairly interesting, definitely. We have some further use from skill power. Out of that, we have some use here for the cap, which, I mean, we can't reach for Dream Realm, so if you wanted to have some extra buff for that, it's a bit useless. We have some extra damage here. I don't think it's too insane. So really, I think if you try to enhance this cap, then skill power is for you. Otherwise, probably choose something different. There are some other options. Oh, the wrong tab actually here. The other recommended one is this one, an HP haste charm, which I think is perfectly fine for Dream Realm. If you go into that, you don't really have to fear losing out on any heal, and you can make him a bit more tanky, get him a bit more haste, and you will be perfectly fine with that. So, bit of a better understanding, I guess, from this little bit of curiosity for the charm. There is another option to go if you want to buff the heal, though. There is a healing haste charm, which could be quite interesting. Healing, of course, referring to one of the stats that actually buffs heal. Where is it? There. Every point of healing increases the effectiveness on shields and healing provided by the unit by 1%. Is a common thing for healers. We should keep in mind he has about base 40% healing already, so it's not quite one-to-one the transition from this, so you don't get like a 10% more effectiveness of your heals. It is in rather added to that, so it's a lower amount total, but this is an option, or 5%. It is an option. We keep the haste, we get the healing. The haste skill power one, however, way more specific in use than I anticipated, and certainly I think not one for everybody. I think on most cases, if I want to go into Dream Realm, I will probably go for the healing haste one on this one and try that, or go for the HP one, both of which are fairly interesting. I got this one actually on multiple ones, maybe we can try it. I'm not sure we will see the biggest difference there. It is certainly more of a small optimization. Let's get this one too. Interesting. Okay, we'll have to re-equip. And let's try that as an end of this video once again. Keep this in mind for the way higher damage in battle drills that we deal. Those charms, fairly interesting, and a fairly big heal from your Reinier. So, let's watch this fight, and with that we'll probably end the video. I hope it was interesting for you. It was just like that I in the morning did my fights in battle drills, didn't want to lose out on any points there. I wanted to max out my fights, and then I noticed this and thought, well, this is an interesting mechanic, and maybe something you guys would be curious about as well. So, hope we get a good fight here. Maybe some big heals. I hope it is a little bit more effective. Should not be more effective by very much. I think it would be like 5 or 10% more maybe. And of course would not reflect really in our damage. Still, oh, closing in on the 43. At least the 43. Even though I already got a better fight. My Fresto sadly dying there. Just a bit sad. But heal-wise 16.58. So not really a huge difference, but a little bit. So, with that, I wish you a great day. Maybe subscribe to the channel if you want. And we'll see us in the next one.